In 1997, a hedge fund manager showed up to a client meeting on a 180-foot yacht with a helipad, a submarine, and a staff of 22. His client asked how he could afford it. He said he couldn't. He charged it to the fund. The SEC disagreed. That story isn't about excess. It's about what a yacht communicates before a single word is spoken. That is what a yacht actually is. Not a boat. A statement about where you sit in the world. 7 levels. From the entry that feels exclusive but isn't, to the vessel that functions as a floating, sovereign nation. Let's get into it. Level 1. Day charter. $500 to $5,000 total. This is where most people's first yacht experience begins, and where the illusion breaks fastest. A 40-foot sailing catamaran off the Amalfi Coast. A motor yacht in the Greek islands. You book it the same way you book an Airbnb. Skipper included, snorkeling gear included, sunset included. For 4 hours, you are on a yacht. The yacht leaves when it leaves. It goes where the skipper takes it. You had no input on either. The experience is better than a ferry. The product is not yachting. It is the lobby of yachting, decorated to look like the real thing. Who's here? The couple who wanted something different for their anniversary. The bachelorette group with matching hats. The guy who posts the photo captioned "Office View Today" and does not mention it cost $800 split 6 ways. The boat was nicer than the beach. The schedule was still not yours. That difference is the whole video. Level 2, bareboat charter or entry motor yacht. $1,500 to $10,000 per week. This is where yachting actually begins, not the vessel, the freedom. Bareboat charter means you hold the wheel. A 45-foot sailboat or motor yacht. You pick the route, you pick the harbor, you anchor where you want, and stay as long as you want. Nobody is running a schedule for you. The sea is yours to navigate. Or you charter a small crude motor yacht, 50 to 65 feet. A captain, maybe a mate. You point to a cove on the map and you end up there. $3,000 to $10,000 per week, depending on season and region. 6 people split that, and you've paid less than $0 and arrived somewhere the resort cannot reach. Who's here? The sailing couple, who took an ASA course in 2018 and finally pulled the trigger. The group of friends who split the cost and argued about anchorages for 6 days and will talk about it for 20 years. Someone is going to say a resort is more comfortable. It is. The resort does not move. Level 3, luxury yacht charter. $15,000 to $80,000 per week, 60 to 100 feet. This is where the yacht becomes a full operation. A 75-foot Sunseeker, a 90-foot Ferretti, a crew of 3 or 4, captain, chef, steward. The chef asks you what you want for dinner before you've thought about lunch. The beds are made while you're swimming. The drinks appear before you finish the one in your hand. You move between islands on your timeline. You anchor in a bay that isn't in any guidebook because the captain knows it exists and nobody else does. Provisioned fully. Fueled, staffed, and ready. The APA, Advanced Provisioning Allowance, runs 30 to 35% on top of the charter fee and covers fuel, food, port fees, everything that moves the boat and feeds you while it does. This is the level where the yacht stops competing with a hotel. It starts competing with a private villa that changes its view every morning, and it wins. Who's here? The family that chartered once and has not taken a land vacation since. With a private driver and actually took them somewhere new every day. Level 4, Superyacht charter, $100,000 to $500,000 per week. 100 to 150 feet. This is the first level where the vessel matters as much as the destination. A 120-foot superyacht. Crew of 8 to 10. Chef with a Michelin background. Spa with a massage table. Jet skis, sea bobs, a tender that is itself larger than most people's first boat. A stabilization system so good you forget you are on water. Multiple deck zones. Sundeck forward. Alfresco dining aft. Main salon with a cinema, master stateroom with a walk-in wardrobe. The yacht is no longer transporting you. It is the destination you happen to be moving. Below level 4, you charter a yacht to get somewhere. At level 4, the somewhere is the yacht. Who's here? The private equity partner celebrating a close. The family doing the Mediterranean in July and wanting the children to remember it for the rest of their lives. They will. Not because of the islands, because of the boat. Someone will ask if it's worth it. That question stops making sense the first morning you wake up anchored alone in a Sardinian bay with a cappuccino appearing without you asking. Level 5. Mega Yacht. $510 to $2,000 per week, 150 to 250 feet. At this level, the world does not tell you where to go. You tell the world. A 200-foot mega yacht. Crew of 20. Stabilizers that work at anchor. A helicopter pad. A permanent submarine. A beach club at the waterline that folds out into a private pool over the sea. A doctor on board. New York to Bermuda. St. Bart's in December. Maldives in March. Patagonia in summer. The yacht arrives ahead of you and is ready when you land. The captain manages a floating hotel with a crew roster, a fuel budget, and a maintenance schedule that rivals a commercial airline. List price to own, $50 million to $200 million. Annual operating costs, roughly 10% of build value, per year, every year, whether you use it or not. Who's here? The family office that has owned yachts for 2 generations. The Superyacht is not a vacation asset. It is a permanent infrastructure decision, managed like a property portfolio, just one that moves. His wife calls it the most complicated house they own. The captain calls it the easiest job he's ever loved. Level 6, Giga Yacht. $2,000 to $10,000 per week to charter. Over 250 feet. This is where yachting stops being a vessel and becomes a private institution. A 300-foot Giga Yacht. Crew of 50 to 70. Multiple tenders, including a dedicated sport fishing boat, a shadow vessel that follows ahead carrying the helicopter and the excess gear. An owner's deck that functions as a separate private apartment above the rest of the ship. Interior designers worked for 3 years on it. The marble in the master bathroom was sourced from a single quarry in Turkey. The wine cellar holds 2,000 bottles. The cinema seats 20. You do not charter these. They are almost never available. Occasionally, when the owner isn't using it, an agent gets the listing. The waiting list is not a list. It is a set of conversations between people who know people. Build cost, $200 million to $700 million. The Azam, longest private yacht in the world at 590 feet, cost an estimated $600 million to build and $60 million a year to operate. Who's here? Not on the Bloomberg Billionaires list, because they structured it that way. The names on the AIS transponder are shell companies with addresses in the Cayman Islands. The yacht exists. The owner is theoretical. Level 7, the fleet. No public price. No public charter. At this level, a single yacht is not enough, because a single yacht can only be in one place. The Saudi royal family maintains a fleet, multiple vessels positioned across the globe so that wherever the principal is traveling, a yacht is already there or en route. Not chartered, not borrowed. Permanently repositioning between continents in anticipation of a schedule that is not published anywhere. These vessels carry diplomatic infrastructure, secure communications, medical suites with surgical capability, security teams with protocols. The vessel is not a vacation asset. It is mobile, sovereign territory. There are private individuals in this category as well. The security requirements, the communication needs, and the staff required to run the operation have exceeded what a single vessel can provide. At this level, the question of where to go disappeared years ago. The only question is how many days before the boat arrives, and how many staff are needed to make the destination functional before the principal lands. The 90-year-old Greek shipping magnate does not think about his fleet. His fleet thinks about him. The Wright brothers flew 120 feet in 1903. 12 seconds. The same year, J.P. Morgan was already on his third yacht, a 302-foot vessel called Corsair III, designed to make the point that the first two weren't quite enough. In the 120 years since, the industry went from a rich man's sailboat to a 590-foot private vessel with a permanent submarine and a shadow ship. At level 1, you are buying 4 hours without a resort pool. At level 7, you are buying the ability to relocate a government to open water. The tourist on the day charter and the principal on the gig yacht are both on a boat. One bought a seat. The other never thinks about the boat. The boat is the least important part of what the vessel represents. Every other industry sells you a way to get somewhere. Yachting at its highest level sells you the ocean, entirely on your terms. Subscribe. I break down how things actually work, not how the brochure describes them. See you in the next one.